In 1981, Indiana Jones made his big screen debut, reigniting the world's interest in history's most hunted relic, the Ark of the Covenant. That same year, 2 real-life raiders went on their own search for the Ark. There were no Nazis and no snake pits, just 2 renegade rabbis on a mission. And this is the place where their search came to an end. Designed by God, created by Moses, and revered by the Israelites. From the Sinai Desert to the Temple of Solomon, the Ark of the Covenant was the place of meeting between God and man. In 586 BC, Israel was conquered by the Babylonians. The temple was raided by Nebuchadnezzar's army, and the Ark disappeared from the pages of history.
What happened? Why did this most dramatic instrument of God's glory and power in human history suddenly vanish?
Why do you think people are so fascinated by the location of the Ark of the Covenant?
It's a very interesting question.
Archaeologist Gabriel Barkay has sifted through centuries of Jerusalem's history. And in 45 years, he hasn't found any sign of the Ark.
All what we know is legends.
And those legends stretch all over the ancient world, starting with Nebuchadnezzar in Babylon.
The Ark of the Covenant was made of wood and it was gold-plated. Such an amount of gold would be melted down at the time of war, immediately after it was captured.
Do you think it's very likely that the Ark itself was destroyed at that time?
I think so. I think so.
Jewish writings say the prophet Jeremiah hid the Ark on Mount Nebo in Jordan. Another legend claims it was smuggled to Ethiopia by the son of King Solomon and the Queen of Sheba. In Israel, most rabbis agree that when it comes to the Ark, all roads lead back here to Jerusalem. They say the Ark never left the city, and to them, the so-called lost Ark was never really lost. On June 7, 1967, Israeli troops recaptured Jerusalem in the Six-Day War. The Western Wall was in Jewish hands, and those hands were ready to dig. Archaeologists exposed parts of the wall that had been buried for 2,000 years. But not all of the digging was done legally. In 1981, 2 of Israel's highest-ranking rabbis, Shlomo Goren and Yehuda Getz, picked up their pickaxes and started chiseling under the Temple Mount.
And he knew that in the end of the gate, he will come to the secret room where the Ark of Covenant is located.
Gershon Solomon was one of the paratroopers who liberated the Western Wall in 1967. And he was there 14 years later, the night Rabbi Getz opened a secret passage in the wall.
After midnight, I was in the bed already, and he called me and said to me, Gershon, come immediately, don't wait, your dream is going to be fulfilled. What happened? I told him. The Messiah came, and he told me he's coming almost.
But first came a subterranean slugfest.
Arab demonstrations, you know, they started to throw stones on the workers. The Israelis are coming to build the temple underneath the Dome of the Rock.
At the end of the day, the passage to the Temple Mount was permanently sealed by Israeli police.
No doubt, I tell you, no doubt. We needed just maybe 2 days more to come to the place where the Ark of Covenant is located.
The work was done without archaeological supervision. And when I was the official archaeologist of Jerusalem, I decided to stop the work.
Dan Bahat directed the excavation of the Western Wall tunnels. And according to him, the search for the Ark stops with Jeremiah 3:16.
Prophet Jeremiah says there will come a day when the Ark of the Covenant will not be seen, nor will it be visited. In other words, this was a hint from God. Don't look for the Ark of the Covenant.
Scholars may not agree on the fate of the Ark, but many of them agree on one thing. Its discovery could set in motion another event that's been 2,000 years in the making: the rebuilding of the Jewish temple.
Perhaps when it's time to build the third temple, the second temple treasures will be found. Why? Because both in Ezra and Nehemiah, the Bible indicates that when it was time to build the second temple, God restored the treasures from the first temple, which of course had been carted off to Babylon. When it's time to build the third temple, the second temple treasures will be found. Wouldn't that be dramatic?
It is soon to come. I tell you, I promise you, and you check me, test me. It will be in our lifetime.